MLB says the A's are the 18th best team in all of baseball. Too high? Too low? Or just I really don't know. Let's get into it today on Locked On A's.
You are Locked On A's, your daily podcast on the Athletics, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network in the country. I am your host, Boney, lifelong A's fan who has spent decades living every collapse, every rebuild, and every championship this franchise has put us through. I watch the games, track the prospects, and follow the business side closer than most people follow their own team. Every day, you will get real roster breakdowns, long-term context, and unfiltered takes from someone who actually understands this organization because I have grown up with it. Welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team, your A's, every single day. And today on Locked On A's, we start with the latest MLB power rankings and the A's landing at 18. What that number actually means, why it feels safe, and why it undersells the direction of this team. From there, we zoom out and define what a successful season really looks like for the A's, laying out clear benchmarks for progress instead of leaning on vibes, narratives, or moral victories. And we'll close by opening up the floor to your questions and comments, reacting live and letting the smartest voices in the room, the fans watching every day, driving the conversation. Well, guys, it's another one of those lists, right? We had a list yesterday on Tyler Soderstrom's being left out of the top 100 baseball players. And actually, I have another bone to pick with regard to lists. And there it is. Bill, Soderstrom didn't crack the top 10 left fielders in baseball. You know, let's get back to this list thing for a while. I talked about it a little bit yesterday on who actually decides these lists. I mean, do you sign up for these lists? And I asked if they try on these lists. Do people try and actually come up with a solid top 10, top 50, top 100 list? Because it's crazy right now. You know, it started, I'll tell you when it started. Do you guys remember when ESPN had its top 100 list of the top 100 athletes of all time? And every single week they did a big 30 on 30 on their top 100 athletes. I knew it was screwed up back then. Because they had 3 horses in the top 100. They had Citation at 97, Man O' War 84, and Secretariat at 35. Since when are horses defined as athletes? I knew the list was flawed when that top 100 came out from ESPN. I mean, because now every single list is just so screwed up, man. It's like, try a little bit. I just want to know who gets the jobs for these lists. If you have to go sign up somewhere. Because whoever signed up for the list for the ESPN top 100 and had 3 horses in the top 100, you knew back then the lists were flawed. But yet, here we are, still commenting on the list. Gary, what's up, man? Enjoy the McNeil interview. He seemed as happy to be talking with you as you were to him. It was fun, man. McNeil's a cool dude. Jesus, happy Wednesday to you, my friend. Muskie, how are you, pal? BBQ, imaginary lists mean nothing. The lists are getting a little nutty, man. I'm telling you, we're going to get into the Soderstrom thing. And before then, I'm going to have scrolling on the bottom the MLB power rankings. And those on audio, I will recite them in just a couple minutes. But, yeah, Muskie, you remember that ESPN Top 100, don't you? Yeah, me too. Jason, Roman Anthony was number 2. My God. They had Duran and Anthony 1 and 2. I guess, I don't know. You make sense out of that one. I guess they're both going to play left field at the same time. Cage, what's up, pal? Jesus, projected starting rotation, pre-spring training, in your eyes, projected starting rotation. I've said it. You got to go Severino 1, Springs 2, Lopez. No, you're going to go righty, lefty, righty. Severino 1, Springs 2, Morales 3, Lopez 4. I got Gunnar Hoglund in my 5 spot. Jason, Soderstrom's better than Brandon Marsh. He could be, Jason, if you really look at that list, you could make an easy argument that he could be number 1. It's the craziest thing. I remember 2024, Lawrence Butler was top 10 overall players during the season. Was he? Are you sure about that, BBQ? Maybe during a month. Doing great, buddy. Appreciate it. Awesome. Good to hear. I missed the power rankings list, so I appreciate you going through it. I mean, it's not legal to have 2 left fielders. You just can't have one of another position. It's nutty. It's absolutely nutty. I want to talk about the Soderstrom thing first. I've just been on a little bit of a... I mean, come on, man. Duran 1. Roman Anthony 2. Cody Bellinger 3. Riley Green 4. James Woods 5. Ian Happ 6. Yordan Alvarez 7. Kyle Stowers 8. Jackson Chourio 9. Brandon Marsh 10. No Tyler Soderstrom. Just nutty. Hey, might as well just go, hey, Citation 97. Man o' War 84. Secretariat 35. Top 100 athletes. They're horses. How are horses in the top 100 athlete list? I don't know. I you know what? I don't get it. I'm the one who doesn't get it. Just nutty. Just nutty. Gary, forgot that list. Maybe we could cite yeah. Hey, Secretariat, need a bucket. Go score. Come on, man. Sody not me. It's totally Journey. Alvarez a DH. I don't know, Muskie. That's their list. Like I said, I want to know where you go sign up to be one of these list guys. What's up, Pete? How's Alvarez 6? Alvarez is 7. Same thing, though. I don't know. It's how Soderstrom's not on that. Like, seriously, you can easily make an argument that Soderstrom could be number 1 on that list. You really could. Duran, Anthony, Bellinger, Riley Green, James Wood, Ian Happ, Yordan Alvarez, Kyle Stowers, Jackson Chourio. Jackson Chourio is low too. Brandon Marsh, just nuts. Yeah, I want to be on this list team too, guys. And I want to get to the A's power ranking of 18 and what that means. But yeah, the Soderstrom being left off the top 100 put me in one direction. And now being left off the top 10 left fielders, I mean, come on. What are we doing, man? I mean, you kind of think these are just like flagrant. Jesus. Pete, same old thing. A's get ignored. Make our own list. Yeah, I'm going to make my own list. Chourio should, I think so. I think Chourio's low too. Just finished watching Green Acres. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. Listen, I am going to take a quick break. When I come back, I do want to talk about the power rankings and seriously, what does a successful season look like for the A's? I've said playoffs. We've all said wild card. But realistically, what does a successful season look like for the A's? I'm going to talk about that and the power rankings up next. Let's be real. Managing money can feel like trying to track bullpen usage over a 162-game season. Subscriptions you forgot you signed up for. Bills creeping up every single month, and somehow the balance never quite matches what you thought you spent. I didn't realize how bad it was until Rocket Money showed me I was still paying for a couple of streaming services I signed up for during a random off-season binge and never touched again. Just canceling those alone felt like finding found money. What I love most is how Rocket Money lays everything out in one place. Subscriptions, spending, bills, all clean, all simple, no digging. The automatic tracking is clutch because I can actually see where my money's going instead of guessing and hoping for the best. You can set budgets, set goals, get alerts before big charges hit, and even see all your accounts, checking, savings, loans, investments on one dashboard. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/locked on. That's rocketmoney.com/locked on. rocketmoney.com/locked on. Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen of the day. And thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network in the country. If you have not already, do me a favor. Go check out our new Everydayer Club. You will get access to an ad-free audio feed for Locked On A's, compatible with Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and every other major podcast app. An invite to the members-only Locked On Everydayer Club Discord server, which includes a group chat just for listeners of this show, which you could find at hashtag locked-on-a's. All of this for a price of $4.99 per month or $50 per year. Go to lockedona's.supercast.com or tap the link in the show note to learn more. Welcome back to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network in the land. Yeah, guys, I still remember that ESPN Top 100. It was like the first legit list, and always me and my buddies, I think it was like done in like 2001, something like that. I don't remember the exact time, but me and buddies who also used to debate and just never could understand how three horses got on the top 100 list. Don't get me wrong. I love the horses. Amazing. But they're not athletes. They're not. Come on. Flea, great interview with Jeff McNeil. I had no idea he was dealing with drama in New York. I think he'll have a big year in Sackdown. I do as well. Journey, playoffs race as far as a goal for the A's or what a successful season looks like. I think you said your second word right there is the key word, race. And I'll tell you what I mean in a second. Is it possible that Soderstrom was just simply overlooked, not excusable, but it clearly makes no sense to me otherwise? Like I said, I think you just need to sign up for one of these jobs. I want to know where you sign up for them. It's the craziest thing. Jason, the A's power ranking is fair. They are probably the 10th best team in the AL. I don't think they are better than the AL teams in front of them on this list. I don't disagree with you at all. Let me tell you who is on this list in a second. Muskie, I'm guessing since he isn't a big-time cover athlete, maybe. Journey, what I heard was Nimmo and McNeil ruffled feathers because Lindor was going to be named captain or something, and they were upset that they were drafted by the Mets and came up through the ranks. McNeil kind of downplayed that whole thing when I talked to him. He's like, hey, we had injuries. We were competing. We weren't winning. And anytime you have a high-profile team not winning, they're going to say, hey, there's locker room problems. So he kind of downplayed that. I didn't ask about it. He just kind of voluntarily gave that answer. MLB power rankings. Starting at 30, Rockies, Angels, Nationals, Cardinals, White Sox, Twins, Marlins, Pirates. 22 is the Rays, 21 the Guardians, 20 the Rangers. At 19, the Giants, 18 the A's, 17 Reds, Royals, Diamondbacks, Astros, Tigers, Padres, Braves. Number 10 is the Cubs. Here's your top 10. Here's starting at 9. The Orioles. Mets at 8. Yankees 7. Brewers 6. Red Sox 5. Phillies 4. Mariners 3. Blue Jays 2. Obviously, the Dodgers 1. Muskie. McNeil's going to be fun to watch. I agree. Ranked 18 ain't too bad. Yeah, I'm not too disappointed on this. Here's a couple stats for you guys from last year's the second half. And here's why I said at the opening, you just don't know. I agree with Jason. I think 18 is a fair ranking. And as far as the goals at the end of the season, Journey said it. I said race. And what do I mean by, hey, why is race the key word there? I want them playing meaningful games in September. If they are playing meaningful games in September, that's a successful season. If they are in the race and they are playing games where it counts for them in September, that's a successful season, no matter what happens at the end. I want meaningful games in September. So, Journey, that's what I mean by the second word, race. I want them in the race in September. For me, that's a successful season. As far as wins, I've predicted 84 wins. What does success really look like with wins? I hope they're around the 81, 82 win mark. Here's what's interesting. Last year, in July, they were 5-4. In July, they were 13-11. In August, 15-12. In September, they were 13-11. 41 wins against 34 losses. Here's something interesting. Since July 24th last year, the A's were 34-24. Last 3 months of the season against playoff teams, 5-4 in July, 4-2 in August, 6-3 against September, 15-9. That's over a 600 winning percentage against playoff teams in the last 3 months of the season. That's impressive. That's why you don't know. That's why you just simply don't know. Minnesota, facts. McNeil too busy golfing. He ruined his baseball swing. Jason Tapp, goal is to compete in the AL wildcard race and the AL West. I agree. Play meaningful games in September is what an interesting season will look like. Journey, the start of the year will be critical. We can't be 10 games back at the race. Got to be, in the beginning of the season, the schedule's wild too, man. Wild. You talk about rough opening up in Toronto. Jesus. It's just, you're right. We have 2 New York trips at the beginning of the season, Yankees and Mets. Barbecue, they can't go into crazy losing slumps. 20 of 21 to find the whole season last year. I said this on many of occasions, and playing games when you have expectations compared to when you are playing games when you're 10, 15 games out of it has different feels to it. I'm cautiously optimistic. What moves are the A's going to make this team better? Are they good enough to compete, play those meaningful games in September? As they stand, I don't know. If you want to go by the last 3 months of the season in 2025, where there were 15-9 against playoff teams, which included winning 2 of 3 in Boston, sweeping the Reds and Tigers in Sacramento. Those were damn good teams. Also, keep in mind, guys, 6 of those games in those last couple months of the season, we lost 6 in a row against the Rangers. 3 in Texas, 3 in Sacramento. Crazy. Journey, I'm really optimistic this season. Compared to the past, rebuilding is over. It's time to win. Don't they still need to spend? They don't have to spend. I would like them to get to just because the CBA expires at the end of the year, so there's not going to be really any penalty for the A's. I would like them to see them at the same cash payroll as they were last year. As far as luxury tax payroll, they're ahead of where they were last year. But there is still room to spend. To give you an idea, though, guys, so Lawrence Butler signed his extension last year, March 8th. Brett Rooker signed his extension January 8th. Tyler Soderstrom signed his extension at the end of the year. I think it was December 29th, I want to say, something like that. So I do think Jacob Wilson will be extended closer to spring training. The Severino signing last year was December 6th. The Mark Leiter Jr. signing was December 17th, 11 days apart. Luis Severino was December 6th. Jeffrey Springs' trade was 8 days apart. Mark Leiter Jr. signing was on December 17th. Jeff McNeil trade was on December 22nd, 5 days apart. Point being, eerily similar to last season in the timing. Very, very similar to last season. The first thing to go last year was the big signing, Luis Severino. Now, can you compare Mark Leiter Jr. signing to Luis Severino? No, but that's your free agent signing. The trade for Jeffrey Springs, took place on 8 days later. The trade for Jeff McNeil took place 5 days later from the Mark Leiter extension. Mark Leiter signing, sorry. And the Brett Rooker extension signed, very similar in dates as far as the Tyler Soderstrom extension. And Lawrence Butler, spring training, I expect that's when Jacob Wilson gets done. Up next, and I'll be back literally in about 5 seconds, we'll talk about your questions, comments. Maybe we'll talk more rankings, more lists. They're really good at it. They're really good at the lists. See you in a second. All right, what do you guys got here? T-Dog. What's up, bud? If we were thinking 84 wins, competing for a wild card spot, that would put them in the top 12 of the league based on the standings at the end of 2025. So 18 is a bit low. I think, I don't think those making the list have the A's as a playoff team. I can't blame them for that. I'm not, this isn't comparable to the Tyler Soderstrom type deals. No. 18, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, I don't think you could make a strong argument saying, hey, 18 is just a ridiculous ranking. No, I think it's, I think maybe 15, 14, but I have nothing to say against, the A's being ranked 18. I think it's a fair ranking. It's not like Tyler Soderstrom being left off the top 10 in left field. No, nothing close to that. It's a fair ranking. It's a fair, solid ranking. Jason, the Mariners lineup isn't as deep as last year. They're going to miss Suarez and Polanco. The division is kind of wide open. Yeah, but they also, don't forget though, man. Jason, Naylor's a big deal. Ref Snyder was a good signing. But yeah, I think Polanco's a big deal, losing him at third. And that rookie they had who came up last year is going to be better. I forget his name off the top of my head. You know who I'm talking about. Left-handed hitter. I don't know why it's slipping my head. Someone knows his name. It's just slipping my head. Left-hander. He was a phenom. Came up for Seattle. Did some damage. But Ref Snyder's a good pickup for him. Signing Naylor to an extension was big. But, yeah, Polanco's a big deal. And I think Julio Rodriguez is going to have a huge year for him as well. Journey, pitchers and catchers not too far away. February begins this weekend. You said it. Remember Arthur Rhodes, left-handed specialist? Of course I do. I liked Arthur Rhodes. Predict Butler's stats this year. Do you think he's going to bounce back? I do. If the A's are going to be a playoff team, Butler would need to go 30-30. 32 bombs, 31 stolen bases, hit 260. And you guys are probably thinking, hey, well, that's ridiculous compared to what he did. He had 2020 last year, which was crazy. And it felt like he was just awful last year. He was awful. But I think he's going to be better. If Lawrence Butler goes 30-30 this year, A's will make playoffs. I've said it before. Lawrence Butler is a critical piece to this whole offense. Muskie, is there a chance we can have an episode on my favorite pitcher, Barry Zito? Done deal. Consider it done. Muskie. Extend Kurtz 8 years, $225 million. Wouldn't that be nice, Bill? Wouldn't that be nice? That would do it. I don't think the A's came close to that, though. Salty Tom, what's up, pal? The A's absolutely have to compete for the division next year in 2027. 81 wins. 500 is my benchmark for. I like it. Okay, so 2027, they're competing for the division. What's a successful season for you in 2026 is 81 wins. Got it. Can't argue again. I can't argue with that. Muskie, Cole Young. Thank you, pal. Good call. Cole Young, Seattle's phenom that I forgot his name on. T-Dog, having Naylor all season is a big boost for Seattle. And don't forget about Ref Snyder, too. Ref Snyder's a good right-handed hitter for that lineup. Flea, I always love to imagine the Moneyball team starters 1 through 5 being Hudson, Zito, Mulder, Harden. I love Harden. And Justin Ducey. Yep, they should have kept Harden, but got themselves Donaldson from the Cubs, Merton Patterson. And Gallagher. Muskie, appreciate it, pal. Journey, Butler has to live up to that leadoff guy. Yeah, Jern, I'm with you, man. You know, we invested money in Butler last year to be that guy, to be that extension, to be the guy we saw in the second half of 2024. It does. It does just need to happen. You're right. T, Nick, Rook, Shea, Butler, and Sodi, all 30-plus home runs. That'd be incredible. Yeah. I don't disagree with that at all. Is there anybody else you could add to that list? Could Max Muncy be sneaky good? Could Max Muncy be a 30 home run plus guy? Why not? Why not Max Muncy? The thing about these young guys, man, is they get better as they get older. Muskie, my brother is a Mariners fan and I umpire their top prospect, Colt Emerson from high school. Salty, 2026 to at least be 87 or 99, setting up a playoff run. Yeah, similar, huh? Very, very similar. Those teams, the 87 team was different, Salty, just because, yes, it was still, you still had guys like who they brought up, like Canseco, and McGuire, but a lot of those teams as well were built on free agents, trades, and the big signings they made. So where this team is more similar to 99, that 99 was based on bringing up a lot of guys through their farm system. Giambi, you had your Hudson, you had your Mulder, you had your Zito players that were kind of getting brought up and getting better. Those teams were designed more on pitching, where these teams are designed, of course, Tejada, and these teams are being designed more on the lineup. So, but very similar. Good call. I can see Muncy hitting 2025. I too as well, man. Anyway, guys, hey, listen. If you guys have any information on where you sign up to be one of those list guys, if you could forward me that link. I want a job as a list guy. It seems like the greatest job ever. You just throw a bunch of names down on a piece of paper. It doesn't matter if they're an animal. It doesn't matter if they're a left fielder. It doesn't matter if they're a center fielder. Just put names down on a list. You send it over to MLB Network, and all of a sudden it's official. Greatest job in the world. Take care, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in today to Locked On A's. We will be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. live on YouTube on audio. The show should be up at around 10 a.m. Make sure you subscribe and follow Locked On A's so you get all the latest episodes. You can find Locked On A's on social media on X, Instagram, and TikTok, all at Locked On A's. If you never miss an episode, the Everydayer Club is built for you. Get Locked On A's ad-free, plus members-only Discord access and more. Head to lockedona's.supercast.com to join the club. For those of you on video, we send you to the first ever 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On audio, make sure you make your second listen Locked On MLB.